Hello, I am the Patriot. Today I shall be talking about the Fifth Amendment. Let's review it. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. I shall be breaking this amendment up into different phrases. I will then define words of which you might not know the definition inside these phrases, and then I will translate these phrases into modern English. Small disclaimer, this amendment is partially defined but not limited to as I define it in this video. Let's start with the first phrase. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime. If you didn't know, a capital crime is basically anything you can be executed for, such as murder, treason, and such. Therefore, this phrase means no person shall be held to answer for a crime you can be executed for or otherwise infamous crime. Moving on to the second phrase. The second phrase is, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. As I'm sure you're wondering, an indictment is a set of charges prepared by the prosecutor aimed at the defender. A presentment is an indictment which is prepared by the jury rather than the prosecutor. So this phrase means, unless on a charge prepared by a grand jury or prosecutor of a grand jury. The third phrase is, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Public danger is defined as when there is danger to the public. So that basically includes weather disasters, civil disaster, riots, etc., and all that implies. So this basically means, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service or at a point where, for whatever reason, you can't get a grand jury. The fourth phrase, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. To be subject means, for the lack of a better definition, to be forced. To be put in jeopardy of life or limb means to have the threat of physical harm. Also, for those who don't know, nor means the same thing as neither. So therefore this phrase means, neither shall any person be forced to have the threat of physical harm again for the same offense. Or, neither can anyone be tried for the same crime twice. Alright, the fifth phrase is, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against himself. I'm going to give you all some credit and just translate it from here. This phrase means, neither shall they be forced to witness against themselves in any criminal case. The sixth phrase, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Deprived in this case means forced to have a lack. Therefore, this phrase means, neither be forced to have a lack of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The seventh and final phrase is, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Just means fair. Compensation is money paid in order to pay/make up for something. So the last phrase means, nor shall private property be taken for public use without a fair amount of money to make up for said property. So, putting it all together, the Fifth Amendment states that no person shall be held to answer for a crime you can be executed for or otherwise infamous crime unless on a charge prepared by a grand jury or prosecutor of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service or at a point where, for whatever reason, you can't get a grand jury. Neither can anyone be tried for the same crime twice, neither shall they be forced to witness against themselves in any criminal case, neither be forced to have a lack of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without a fair amount to make up for said property. Hope you learned something. Thanks again for talking, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later.